Hey everyone, welcome to Dollar Games, and today I want to talk about something. And that something is massive JRPGs. Not specifically massive JRPGs, though. I want to talk about what happens after we play one. And in my case, I just finished Daybreak 1, leading up to Daybreak 2 that's coming out in about a week. And honestly, like after 90 hours plus, and I believe me, I've tried to do it in less than 90 hours, but I physically can't. The way I play just takes forever. And after 90 hours of grinding emotional cutscenes and just boss battle after boss battle after boss battle, you just get a little exhausted. And honestly, like exhausted in a good way though. I just want to preface that. Like it's not like it's I'm having a bad time. I love every moment of it. But you just kind of get tired after playing one game for that many hours. And so, do you want to take a break from gaming at that point? And honestly, I'm not going to take a break from gaming because it's an addiction, and I have the old game monkey on my back. So I will continue to feed that addiction. But in this case, in between these kind of massive JRPGs, I want something a little bit smaller. Something that's going to kind of like respect my time, a little bite size, doesn't demand my whole life at the end of the day. And like it's just the key thing I need before I dive back in to another 90 plus hour JRPG, which is probably going to happen in next week when I dive into Daybreak 2. So, kind of the point of this video is to talk about what games really kind of are the perfect palate cleansers for you, and what is a good palate cleanser for me, and some games that I kind of want to recommend or talk about, and something that kind of respects your time, but it's also something that you can kind of have fun with in between these major epic JRPGs. So stick around, have fun, grab your popcorn, let's get into it, and let's talk about some really fun games, from indie action platformers to cozy games to even JRPGs that respect your time. So let's just jump in and let's have some fun. Now, the first bite sized game that I want to bring up is a game that is pure, fast paced fun, and that is Hades. Now, you're playing as Zagreus, the snarky and rebellious son of Hades himself, as he's trying to escape the underworld. The story unfolds organically as you make multiple escape attempts, meeting a fantastic cast of Greek gods, spirits, and warriors along the way. The writing is super sharp. The characters are endlessly entertaining, and every run offers something new to discover. What makes Hades special is how the story just integrates into the gameplay. Now, every time you die, and don't worry, you will, you're sent back to the House of Hades, where new dialogue and interactions deepen the world and characters. Even failure feels rewarding, honestly, because it's not just about escaping, it's about uncovering more of the game's rich narrative. Now, Hades is an isometric action roguelike, which means every run is going to be different. You choose from a variety of weapons, each with its own playing style. Now, the Stygian Blade? I think that's what it's called. The Stygian Blade is great for up-close combat, while the Twin Fists let you go on full brawler mode. The Heart-Seeking Bow is a perfect for long-range precision, and the Adamant Rail just turns the game into something out of an action movie or like a bullet hell. Oh, and let's not forget the Eternal Spear and the Shield of Chaos, each adding their own strategic depth. Then there's the boon system, where gods like Zeus, Athena, and Dionysus grant you the special abilities that stack in insane ways. Maybe you'll go full lightning-powered destruction with Zeus's abilities, or mix Poseidon's knockback attacks with Artemis's crit damage. The combinations are endless, making each run feel fresh and unpredictable. Now, Daring Corp's soundtrack is absolutely fire. It's a mix of pulse-pounding battle themes and hauntingly beautiful melodies that make every moment feel epic. Whether you're in the heat of battle or chilling in the House of Hades, the music just elevates the experience to another level. Next on my list is Celeste. Now, this game is like a warm hug and a pep talk rolled into one. Now, Celeste isn't just a game. It's a whole journey, both physically and emotionally. Now you're playing as Madeline, a young woman determined to climb Celeste Mountain while battling her inner demons along the way. The storytelling here is deeply personal. It's touching on themes of self-doubt, anxiety, and perseverance. But don't worry, it's not just one long sad fest. The dialogue is incredibly witty, it's heartfelt, and filled with charming moments that make you genuinely care about Madeline and the characters she meets along her climb. One of the best parts of Celeste's story is how naturally it unfolds through gameplay. There's no massive exposition dumps, it's no excessive cutscenes, it's all woven into the experience. Every section of the mountain represents a new challenge both in the story and in the mechanics. It's a game that constantly encourages you to keep pushing forward, even when things feel impossible. Now let's talk gameplay. Celeste is a precision platformer, meaning it's all about tight, responsive controls and perfectly timed jumps. You've got simple yet deep movesets, jumping, dashing, and wall climbing. That's it. But the game uses these mechanics in an endlessly creative ways, introducing new challenges in every chapter that make you feel like a platforming pro by the end. And yes, Celeste is super hard, but it's also very fair about it. The game doesn't punish you for failing. Instant respawns and generous checkpoints keep frustration to a minimum. Plus, if you just want to enjoy the story without the challenge, there's an assist mode that lets you tweak the difficulty however you want. Whether you're in it for the challenge or just the emotional journey, Celeste respects your time and effort. And I can't forget about the soundtrack. Lena Raine absolutely nailed it. The music perfectly complements the game's mood, from quiet, introspective moments to adrenaline-pumping platforming sequences. It's one of those soundtracks that sticks to you long after you finish the game. Celeste is a 6 to 8 hour experience that leaves you feeling inspired and maybe a little emotionally drained. But hey, that's what snacks are for, right? Next on the list is a short hike. Now, if Celeste was a pep talk, this game is a relaxing vacation. Now, you're playing as Claire, a little bird visiting Hawk Peak Provincial Park. Now, your goal is to climb to the top of the mountain, but the real joy is in the journey. The story is simple, but it's super heartwarming. You'll meet quirky characters, you'll help them with their problems, and uncover little secrets along the way. It's kind of like Animal Crossing meets Breath of the Wild, but without the pressure of saving the world. Now, one moment you're helping a turtle find his lost glasses, and the next you're racing a rabbit on some jet skis. It gets pretty weird. Now, honestly, it's charming, wholesome, and exactly what you need after a 90-hour emotional, draining JRPG. Mechanic-wise, though, a short hike is all about exploration. You can climb, glide, fish, and even race other characters. The controls are smooth, and the world is small but packed with charm. It's the kind of game where you can finish the main story in like 2 to 3 hours, but you'll want to stick around just to soak in all the vibes. And oh, the music. Mark Sparling's soundtrack is pure serotonin. It's cheerful, calming, and perfect for those lazy afternoons. Tracks like Somewhere in the Woods and Beach Buds will have you smiling as you're gliding through the air or fishing by the shore. If you've ever wanted to escape to a cozy island without the hassle of packing, this is your game. A short hike is a perfect palate cleanser. It's short, it's sweet, and it's full of heart. And if you're feeling extra adventurous, there are plenty of hidden treasures and side activities to keep you busy. Just don't forget to stop and smell the virtual flowers. Alright, let's throw in a bite-sized JRPG for those who don't want to stray too far from the genre. Now, Chained Echoes is a love letter to 16-bit JRPGs, but with more modern design sensibilities. It's got all the charm of an SNES classic, but with none of the tedious grinding. Now, the story follows a group of heroes navigating a world filled with political intrigue, sky pirates, and ancient secrets. Yeah, you heard me, sky pirates. Doesn't get any cooler than that. And trust me, it's a ride worth taking. What's great about Chained Echoes is how much it respects your time. There's no wasted fluff, just great storytelling, fun battles, and plenty of surprises. The pacing is tight, the dialogue is well written, and the world is packed with memorable characters. It's like playing the best parts of classic JRPGs without all of the downtime. Combat in Chained Echoes takes the best elements of turn-based RPGs and refines them into something smooth and strategic. The overdrive system keeps battles engaging by encouraging you to manage your actions wisely. Attack too much and you risk overheating. Play too defensively and you might not take advantage of all the buffs. It keeps every battle feeling just fresh and requires you to just use the right amount of strategy without slowing things down. And now let's talk about the mechs. Yeah, there's mechs in this. At a certain point in the game, you get access to these giant robotic suits, adding just a whole new layer of exploration and combat. It's like a classic JRPG fantasy mixed with just the right amount of sci-fi. And who doesn't want to pilot a mech and fight monsters? And you know what that reminds me of a little bit? Xenogears, so I'm sold. The soundtrack, it is pure nostalgia. It's got that perfect mix of sweeping orchestral pieces and SNES-style chiptune goodness. Whether you're wandering the overworld or engaging in a boss fight, every track is just a banger. If you love old school RPGs but don't have 100 hours to spare, Chained Echoes is an absolute must-play. At around 30 to 40 hours, Chained Echoes is a bit longer than other games on this list, but it's still manageable compared to like an 80-hour JRPG epic. It's a perfect way to scratch that JRPG itch without committing to another massive adventure. Alright, let's switch gears with Katana Zero. Now this game is like if John Wick and Hotline Miami had a baby, and that baby was raised by samurai. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but honestly just hear me out. Now you're playing as this katana wielding assassin with time manipulation powers. The story is dark, mysterious, and full of twists. I won't spoil anything really, but let's just say it's not your typical hero's journey. What sets Katana Zero apart is its pacing. The game is fast, brutal, and incredibly stylish. One hit and you're dead, but you can rewind time instantly to try again. That makes like every encounter feel just like a puzzle and kind of makes you have to think about whether you should dash through a window, throw a knife at a guard, or deflect bullets back at your enemy. The choice is yours, and pulling off a flawless run feels like a dance. The story is just as gripping as the gameplay. You'll uncover secrets about a character's past, question what's real, and make choices that affect the outcome. The writing is sharp with plenty of dark humor and fourth wall breaking moments. And the ending? Let's just say it'll leave you begging for a sequel. The music? Oh, it's the synth wave dream. Now, the makers are called Ludwig and Bill Kiley, and their soundtrack is just pulse pounding and perfectly complements the game's neon-soaked aesthetic. Tracks like Overdose and Rain on Brick will have you headbanging as you slice through enemies. It's the kind of music that makes you want to put on sunglasses and pretend you're in the 80s action movie. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? At around 4 to 5 hours, Katana Zero is short but packed with replayability. There are multiple endings, hidden levels, and even a speedrun mode. Plus, it's got one of the most intriguing cliffhangers in gaming. Now seriously, like when are we getting the DLC? Now, let's dive into something a little different with To the Moon. This indie JRPG is a narrative powerhouse. You play as two doctors, Dr. Rosaline and Dr. Watts, who work for a company that fulfills dying patients' last wishes by altering their memories. Their latest client, a man named Johnny, and he wants to just go to the moon. The story is deeply emotional, exploring themes of love, loss, and the meaning of life. It's a tearjerker, so you better keep some tissues handy. The writing is sharp and the perfect balance of humor and heartbreak. Now, no spoilers, but let's just say the ending will stick with you long after the credits roll. Now, mechanically, To the Moon is simple. It's more of an interactive story rather than a traditional JRPG. You'll explore Johnny's memories, solve light puzzles, and piece together his life story. The gameplay isn't the focus here. It's all about the narrative. Also, the music by Ken Gao is absolutely stunning. The piano-driven soundtrack is hauntingly beautiful, with tracks like Everything's Gonna Be Alright becoming an instant classic. It's the kind of music that makes you want to stop and just listen. Now, At around 4 to 5 hours, To the Moon is a short but unforgettable experience. It's perfect for when you want a story that just hits you right in the feels. Tunic is what happens when you mix Zelda-style exploration with Souls-like combat, and then you wrap that all up in a charming, mysterious world. You play as this adorable little fox on a big adventure, discovering ancient secrets, deciphering a cryptic in-game manual, and piecing together the game's hidden lore. There's very little hand-holding here. You're encouraged to explore, experiment, and uncover the game's secrets on your own. Now, Tunic's storytelling is as much about what it doesn't say as what it does. The in-game manual, designed like an old-school instruction booklet, is your guide, but much of it is unreadable. Slowly decoding it while progressing through the world makes every discovery feel special, like you're truly uncovering something lost to time. Now, combat in Tunic is deceptively deep. At first, it seems like a simple action-adventure game, but soon you'll realize that it has stamina-based dodging, parrying, and tricky enemy patterns that require patience and precision. Think of it as like a cute, low-stakes Dark Souls. Now, boss fights will test your reflexes, and even regular enemies can be dangerous if you're not careful. Now in Tunic, exploration is the heart of the game. Every nook and cranny hides a secret, from hidden paths to puzzle solutions that feel incredibly satisfying to uncover. The world is one big interconnected mystery, and it's rewarding those who take the time to pay attention. As for the soundtrack, it is dreamy, atmospheric, and beautifully composed. The way it shifts from calming exploration themes to tense battle music is subtle, but incredibly effective, making the world feel even more immersive. Now, at 12.5 hours, you really can't go wrong with this fox-sized adventure. Now, I cannot in good conscience end this video without bringing up some sort of classic JRPG. And if we're going to be talking about short but perfect JRPGs, we have to include Chrono Trigger. Now, this may be a classic, but it still holds up today as one of the best paced JRPGs of all time. No excessive grinding, no bloated filler, just a perfectly crafted adventure through time featuring one of the best casts in gaming history. Now, this story follows Chrono and his friends as they accidentally discover time travel and get swept up in the battle to save the world. You'll travel from prehistoric era to dystopian future, meeting unforgettable characters along the way. The game's multiple endings and tight writing and emotional moments make it one of the most beloved JRPGs ever. Now, Chrono Trigger's battle system is still one of the best in RPG history. Instead of random encounters, enemies are visible in the world and battles happen seamlessly without separate screens. The active time battle ATB system keeps things fast and engaging, and the dual and triple text systems allow characters to combine their abilities in satisfying ways. Now, do you want to heal and attack at the same time? Well, Marl and Frog's dual tech has you covered. Need to unleash a screen-clearing ultimate move? Wait until your party members are ready to use a devastating triple tech. It makes every battle feel dynamic and strategic. And of course, we can't talk about Chrono Trigger without the music. Yasunori Mitsuda, his soundtrack is just legendary. Every track is iconic, from the adventurous Chrono Trigger theme to the melancholic Corridor of Time. It's a game where every moment is perfectly accompanied by this unforgettable melody. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger, now is the perfect time, and it's definitely a masterpiece. And especially if you're looking for something that is under 30 hours, go ahead. This game is perfect, and it has immense amount of replayability. Well, there you have it. Honestly, I had a ton of fun making that list, and I just feel refreshed because coming out of playing, a 90-hour JRPG, it's always good to kind of have something to really, I don't know, take your mind off things. And whether you want some fast-paced action, some cozy vibes, or some emotional narrative, or you just want to play some classic JRPG that respects your time, I hope you were able to find something on this list that kind of fits that need. And if it's not there, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking for suggestions, and let me know what your palate cleanser games are. Outside of that, I hope everyone really enjoyed this video, and honestly, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, everything that kind of us YouTubers ask you guys to do politely, and then thank you soon after. But until next time, I'm going to jump off and maybe play me some Daybreak 2. So let's jump into another epic. Take care, everyone.